as I mentioned before, hopefully bear with me guys with this gear and stuff like that, the temporary stuff. Again, this isn't a good permanent solution. I'm just gonna try to do mostly things like manual and stuff now, because that's the only time I got like a decent shot and all that. I'll talk about the gear and stuff a little later, but I just want to start off by saying thank you again for everyone who's trying to help me with all this. Like even with the funding and stuff like that, I just woke up in the morning and I checked my messages, my email just as normal, just to see what I need to do like for the day. And it seemed like there was about 3 of you who donated, and believe it or not, just the 3 of you alone, you guys already paid pretty much 20% of the camera. If I was to actually buy it at the full retail price of the exact same one I had, what are you guys talking about, man? When you say that's not a lot of money. I mean, it might be hard for people to believe, but I treat even $1 as a lot, especially when people are donating their money to you. Again, it's just kind of incredible, because some of you, like the people who have donated so far, a lot of you, I haven't even read your names a lot, like in the comments. So I was like, where did you guys come from? So thank you guys again. I'll talk a bit about it a little later with the gear and stuff. But just a quick thought with that, I mean, at this rate and stuff, man, you guys are gonna help me choose which camera to get. I mean, I think that's the appropriate way, because for some of you, like I've seen some of the names and so forth, but you guys haven't really talked too much. So I don't really know like what your background is, like what value like you get, like what you really like to see. Alright, some stuff I read. How's this? New laser weapon set to end drone airport chaos. State-of-the-art system can locate then target unmanned aerial vehicles. They have caused chaos at airports around the world, and there are fears they could be used as a platform for launching deadly terrorist attacks. But new technology on display this week aims to turn the tide in the war against rogue drones. Raytheon, a US defense company, has developed a state-of-the-art system designed to identify unmanned aerial vehicles and disable them. It says, the ground-based technology can either shoot down the drones with lasers or adopt a quote soft kill approach where signal jammers prevent their operations. And according to this, it says the vice president of the company was saying the demand for its products is basically really high just because of all the news and stuff like that. Well, this is funny, like the quote here says, I bought my son a drone for $29 for Christmas. That drone could cause harm in any number of environments, at an airport by flying through an aircraft engine, or at a stadium by dropping on a person. I'm like, really? A little toy drone? A $29 one? What are the odds of that? I mean, for me, when I think toy drones, I think like those really small micro ones. Like, I wouldn't doubt if you fired that through something at the exact right spot and all that, but what are the odds of something like that, let's just say taking down a full-size airplane and all that with an average individual? Would that little tiny thing even be able to withstand things like the wind and stuff like that? Kind of reminds me of that article about the Canadian commercial flyers saying every drone under 250 grams should have to abide by some kind of regulation. Man, just a little tiny toy, I don't know, man. I mean, you can say that about anything, can't you, in that case? Because you guys actually brought this up, I wasn't even aware of it. Something about people throwing things into like the jet engine, like the wing or something like that, like coins to make a wish for good luck, like saying why not stop things like that, like make a law. Like I didn't even know that was such a thing. I mean, generally speaking, if you have a tech that can take down any type of drone that flies like within those airports and stuff where they shouldn't, then that's fantastic. My only concern is like that fear mongering of the toys and stuff like that. Like you don't need a regulation in my opinion, specifically like if people are flying in their backyard and stuff like that. But that's the way to go in my opinion overall. Just develop a tech where you can basically, I guess, intercept something that flies in places where it shouldn't, as opposed to just making ridiculous stuff that basically hinders the responsible flyers and all that. Okay, so for the AR glasses, I actually tested the AR mode, and that was basically flying virtually, so you can have like your Mavic Pro as practice. But it said you need a Wi-Fi, so I was actually wondering if you can actually try it outdoors. So I just wanted to see, just for the giggles, because again, just to see how well the lighting and stuff works. Okay, so basically the drone's out right now, but I took the propellers and stuff all off, and I just want to see if this virtual mode, how well it actually works outdoors. Kind of trippy. So I said press C1, that takes the drone off, so now you can actually lift it off. This thing drifts like crazy. I don't know if this is like an actual real simulation to how it will fly. And it moves at, it looks like it's like 5 frames per second. So it looks like it's something just to goof around, I guess. So basically the way it works is, normally I thought because you have to have the actual drone on, I thought it was taking the camera image from the actual drone, and when you're flying around it makes it look like you're flying. But what it is, it's kind of like a third-person image put in front of you of the drone, so when I move up, down, left, right, I can move this hologram image of the drone, and the picture is just what I see literally with my eyes in front of me. There's no like projected image, so it's just a way for you to kind of, I guess, get the feel of it. It's just kind of funny. I was like flying this drone towards like trees, like right through it and people, and it doesn't really detect it, like, oh no, like, you know, you messed up, don't do that. And I guess what I can test right now is lag. Let's see what kind of lag there is. I'm just gonna manually, like literally carry this drone and carry it around, you guys can see. This is on auto mode and stuff like that, because it usually takes like work and stuff to get the settings and stuff right for the filters. So this is an example, like if you guys say I look like a ghost night camera, it takes work to actually get the right picture. So I'm just testing this for functionality and lag, so let's test it. This is a lag test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. I would say from this test, there's at least half a second lag or so between the image and so forth. So it's not 100% as is, so you still have to be, I guess, a little bit aware, like where you are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's about a half a second lag with this, so it's not instant. Okay, hopefully the picture's a lot more stable and stuff like that, just because there's no bright sunlight and stuff like that. But just reading some of the comments and stuff like that, and the advice and stuff you guys are sending me, I mean, every bit helps. So I was interested in this one at first, because you guys told me you were just looking out and you actually saw the exact camera I used for $279. It's used. But I believe this is actually a US site. So I looked at it and it's $279, convert to Canadian. That's $369.38 Canadian. And since it's US, I believe what? They'll ship it and you'll pay duty. It'll be probably over like what, $400. So it's almost the same thing. But it's still a savings, I guess. For the one that doesn't work, I actually did unscrew it just to wipe off all the water and stuff like that. And even after testing it and so forth, it still doesn't work, unfortunately. I mean, if there's a way to actually get it working and stuff too, that'd be great. But just from what I've seen parts, like if it's the main board, even if you look like online, it's at least like $230 for the board. And I know as well, I think only people who've been watching my videos for a while will notice, the picture quality actually got worse because just from what I understand about that camera, they used glue or something like that to glue in one of these sensors. So you can actually see the picture quality is not as sharp as before. Plus the things like the stabilizer, like I would imagine the price to fix that thing is almost like buying a new one, right? And quick thoughts about the camera, just based on some of the comments, because some of you people were saying, for example, have I considered things like the GoPro? Just in general, in the beginning, like I basically was almost going to get the GoPro and the GoPro Karma because at that time I needed a camera and I needed a drone. But then obviously when I saw the Mavic Pro was way small, like okay, that's it, like that's the one I want to go for. And the main reason why I went with the Sony one instead is because with the stabilization, it was all optical. Whereas a camera like the GoPro, to my understanding, it's stabilized by using digital means, so it actually crops out the picture. So to me, the Sony one sounded a lot better in that sense. For the Osmo Pocket, just based on what I've seen with the reviews and stuff like that, I know a lot of people are complaining that the picture quality, again, isn't as good. And just from what I saw, it does require some startup time, so that might be a little bit of a disadvantage because with the one I was using before, it's probably more along the lines of a GoPro. You take it in, snap, good, you're good to go. And as well, things like the weather, because that one's actually pretty good. It's just that I use the camera excessively, like for over what, 2 years, every single day. And to my understanding, that Osmo Pocket isn't as good in the crazy weather. For the Insta360, when I read about it, it actually sounded pretty decent for like what a person like me would use it for. My main reservation for that was things like the audio. It sounded pretty horrible, so I don't know if you would need an external mic for that, like you probably would. At the same time, the number one thing I was concerned about is the workflow. Because to my understanding, with the way that camera works, when you record it, you can't just put the video files into your computer and then start editing. You have to take the video files, use your phone to process it on what video you want, and then you can edit it. That's a lot of work. I mean, obviously not everyone knows what it's like in terms of things like workflow in the back end and all that, but just as an example, like if you take that video, you have to process it and it's really hard. For my computer, I actually have a Intel i5 2500K. I mean, you can look that up just to see how old it is. I mean, some people are surprised I can even edit a video in general. I mean, I find at times even editing things like the drone videos, like when I export it to like 4K and stuff, all that, man, it takes a long time. as well. Like I can only imagine like with this, for example, this camera, because a lot of people tell me the 4K looks like a huge difference. I still use like a 17-inch LED monitor, so to me it looks kind of the same, but I think you can tell even with this, the quality is a lot lower, because with the cameras I usually took it everything in 4K and I downscale it to 1080p and it looks way better. Yeah.
Would you take a picture for us?
Sure. Yeah, it's nice to be able to help people like that. It's kind of funny. I always say, this guy's a professional. You know, I do it for fun. For the drone, I will be taking it back because it's a holiday today, so it's not open. And I'm just wondering, because there is the 90-day warranty, they said, like you guys said, but what happens like in this case, because it did fall from the sky. So yesterday, actually, it fell from about 50 to 60 meters in the air. And actually what I noticed on the end, like where you flip the propeller off, like it basically stops it from going too far. It's a little bit like dented. Like if it was like an accident, let's just say due to like say the workmanship, I guess, I mean, would they actually help you cover the costs like that, or no? Like tough luck. Basically, if they had to replace the board, any other damage or whatever, it's like you're gonna have to pay for it more. That's a little unfortunate if it is, because that thing's gonna cost like hundreds of dollars again just to replace like everything, and then you still don't know if it works or whatever. Like I have to try to prioritize financially depending on what's happening and so forth. But thank you guys again for all your support. I mean, every bit helps. I still think you guys are crazy saying that's not a lot of money, because maybe it's just my weird way of thinking, but I would imagine for people who are helping me try to fund like gear or you're giving me support, you're treating this as like, not so much as, okay, let's get you like new gear. You're treating it more as an investment in a person because you like what I do. So I really would like to understand, like, you know, what people want to see, what do you view in the long term, because that actually helps too to determine what type of stuff is actually necessary or what's the best type of investment in that sense. Because I'm not one to just blow money and stuff just like that, because even like I said, I'm not joking, I treat even $1 really seriously, especially in this case when people are donating their time and money just to help someone like myself. I mean, again, thanks again, because I'm saying this honestly, like for a person like myself, just from my experience, for some reason in life in general, a lot of people often see me as a, I don't know, like some kind of competition or threat to them, where they don't want to see like a person like me succeed or grow like in any way. Like I'm just saying that like honestly, just being upfront. So to me, it's even more amazing to get that kind of support, to know that there's people that actually care in that way without thinking, saying, you know, I believe in you and I want to invest in you. So again, like with that in mind, like I really want you guys to be part of that whole process too. And that's also true for non-money related, for people who basically referred me to other people, word of mouth and so forth, same thing. I mean, you guys have kind of helped me grow in many ways too, to kind of make me understand, okay, what is it that people value? What do they need me for? What am I good at that I could potentially do to benefit like everyone in a good way? Okay, and unfortunately I can't fly the drone at the moment, so I'll probably return the thing tomorrow. Hopefully everything works out schedule and see, you know, what happens from there. I guess this is the archive, huh? Alright, see you guys later.